Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon is a chaotic force, and as such doesn't have much of a story at all. You are cast as the leader of
Strike Force Lightning,
a special unit of Earth Defense Force, or EDF, as they fight off an alien invasion and bioengineered insects, both coolly called Ravagers. That's it. Seriously, you're given orders and you fulfill them. That's the story. So gameplay has to be a pretty heavy hitter for it to be a game that's worth playing, and I think it does pretty good for the most part. Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon definitely has an older feel to its gameplay, which is a strength here. Movement and gunplay feel appropriately loose for the chaos that you are bound to experience. The number of enemies that can appear on the screen is decent, especially with all the gunfire, blasts, dust, and destruction that will occur around you. The levels of environment destruction is decent, and the developers did a pretty good job of giving the player options. There are 4 different classes, and each have access to different number of weapons and abilities. I do wish that they had implemented these classes and weapons into the survival mode, because I found each of them interesting, and I would have liked other methods to unlock new items. The main weakness of the gameplay is how repetitive it feels. There are different enemy types sprinkled in as you go along, but each level feels basically the same, only with more bullet spongy enemies as you go along, and no way to change weapons once you've started a level, which will screw you if you don't choose a decent ranged weapon to take down bosses and air units. Visually, I don't think that Insect Armageddon has held up all that well, especially considering how late in the 7th generation it released. This is likely due to the scale of engagements. While it isn't the worst game that I've seen, I think that the overall sound design isn't great either. Weapons sound weak and the music is okay. Voice acting is decent but not particularly noteworthy. Accessibility isn't great either. While it does have different difficulties, normal is the easiest, and does offer me a fair bit of challenge towards the end, particularly if you don't grind for equipment. The dialogue is in English, but there are no subtitles, and no in-game way to change the language or rebind buttons. Unfortunately, it isn't the most convenient either. It's only available on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and available digitally on Steam. I didn't really encounter any bugs other than an enemy getting stuck and some AI pathing issues. However, the settings menu and options are bare minimum and have me leaving with concerns about long-term compatibility. But regardless, I did have fun while playing this game, and I think that it can fill a purpose if you're looking for a fairly cheap, simple, chaotic third-person shooter. But this game offers very little beyond that. While I may return to it in the future, I feel that this game's weaknesses outweigh the strengths, which I feel earns it an avoid on the A scale. But with a tweak, I feel that its sequels could do pretty well. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Check out my last video on Viking Battle for Asgard and consider subscribing. Till then, this has been Rob the Slav, and I'll see you in the virtual community.